I'd say the most important people in the organization are here. So we'll get started, and we're going to start with some introductions. Start right here with the ladies from Christian Care Center. With your mouth full, right? I try to do that.
Heather Ward, Marketing and Admissions at Christian Care. Cindy Bruton, Administrator.
Turner Foe, Assistant Manager at Blue John.
Kim Clark, owner of Mr. Sandless.
David Clay.
And what are you? She's on, or what are you? Oh, very early.
This is my better half.
I'm just an operator.
And these are, believe it or not, they are not quite our newest members, but they are new members.
Joanne Vogel, Regional Glass. Julie Stout, Henry Monuments.
Debbie Crouch, Kansas Force.
Debbie Dodd, Lake Market Tourist Commission.
Greta Barnhart, Harold Ledger.
And Greta is actually our newest, I'll say individual member. She's joined as a realtor with Century 21, but she is actually our newest member, even though she's been around forever, correct? She's officially joined.
Forever?
Yeah, charter.
Hey, forever for me is not very long
Charter
ago.
member that lapsed or something.
Jerry.
Jerry Aldridge with Travel Leaders.
Tristan Smith, owner of Verizon, co-owner of Core Fitness.
Taylor Smith with Verizon and Core Fitness.
All right, and behind the camera we have
Jim Stott.
Jim Stott, Captain Video, Bayview Properties.
World-class
Thank you.
magician.
Say that again, let me get that.
World-class magician.
Thank you.
All right, our guest speaker today is Gene Gilliland. And Gene is actually employed by CFSB, Benton and all around town, other locations. He's with strategic planning, is that what you call it?
That's right.
More or less there. He also serves for the next year or so as chairman of the West Kentucky Regional Chamber Alliance. And he's going to tell you all about it. But basically, it's an organization of chambers such as ours in a multi-county area in Western Kentucky. And they have some specific focus items. And he's going to tell you about that. Gene, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay.
Gene Gilliland.
Thank you very much. All right. What is the West Kentucky Regional Chamber Alliance? It is intended to be a catalyst for united regional leadership and resources in one voice. Now, I want you to participate in a little exercise with me, if you will, just for a moment. On the count of three, I want everybody to say your name, okay? Your individual name, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Praise.
Okay? Now, on the count of three, I want you to all say what county you're in, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Lion.
Okay, got one different one, right? The point of a regional chamber is to unite our voices because there are so many voices being heard in Frankfort. How can we have our voice heard in far western Kentucky to where they will hear us? And so by trying to get everybody together so that we can all speak with one voice on common issues that should interest us all, we can get more things done. And that's really the whole purpose of our regional chamber. It's a formal alliance, began discussions 2008, formal organization 2009. Here you can see the area that we cover of these 14 counties. And we try to have 2 representatives from each county, 2 business representatives from each county, recommended by that county's Chamber of Commerce, okay? So we can all get together to try, again, to speak with one voice. And we've got a number of ex officio members who are our contacts directly with either Washington or Frankfort or like the Purchase or Pennyroyal Ads, Murray State University, those various regional efforts so that we can all, again, strengthen the voice that is being spoken. One of our first projects that we took on was I-69. trying to promote I-69. And it's basically a corridor. It's going to go from Michigan into Canada all the way down to Mexico. It's a major new north-south corridor utilizing, for the most part, existing roadways. There's some areas that have to be totally constructed, but for the most part, trying to just upgrade some of the parkways and highways, freeways that are in the area. And we have linked with C-Link, which is a Northwestern alliance of counties, to speak to Frankfurt. We have an annual Kentucky Thank You Night, Western Kentucky Thank You Night, that we have each year, to thank the legislators for their assistance in helping us to accomplish our project. And primarily, we have been focused the last several years. I'm trying to think. We started this Thank You Night. I don't have that on there. But we started it, oh yeah, here we are, beginning in 2009. And we have it in the legislative years. So we'll have it next year in the budget year, okay? So we tried to make a big effort so that we're in their radar. We're on their thoughts when they're talking about budget and what we're going to do. So we've linked with C-Link here, and so we've got all of this group of counties from Hancock, Ohio, and Muhlenberg west, so that we can all say these are important priority projects for us. And that makes a lot more impression upon the legislators than like everybody saying their own name. You know, I want this, I want that. And we're all saying the same thing. That makes a bigger impression on them, and we can get more things done that way. I was thrilled and dumbfounded that we got as far as we did in 2011. Because as I was going to Frankfurt and DC, particularly Frankfurt, at that time nobody had any money. And so what's the possibility of getting, you know, an interstate at that time? But we've been effective in trying to use our influence to encourage this major corridor that we hope is going to bring economic development more and more to our area, which should benefit all of us. I was able to participate in meetings in Washington and in Frankfurt with the transportation people in both places talking, and I got to go. I kind of found myself tagging along with the Paducah Area Chamber of Commerce. At that time, I was the chairman of the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce, and I thought the best way I could promote Marshall County was tagging along with the big brother in McCracken. And as I met with them as a part, and I am a part, I do take in several counties in my influence there with CFSD. And I also represent Marshall County and the regional chamber, and we're also very much interested in this. So it's not just Paducah, but now it's a larger region. So that's the way we can get things done. And had the unveiling, I believe it was in October of 2011. I participated in rallies in Washington, D.C. 2012, I got to go. 2014, we've got another one planned next month, April the 21st to 23rd. So if anybody is interested in going, I've got the information. If you're interested, we'd like to have more representation from Western Kentucky. So let me know afterwards if you're interested in this. But pretty cool to be a part of that process. We've got several things that we're working on. One is the penny ryle to the West Kentucky Parkway, basically. And that's been opened up. Have anybody traveled on that yet? Okay. So that's a new piece. And what they're trying to do with their interstate now is if you're on the same interstate, they're making it so that you don't have to slow down if you're making a merge into another area, okay, another interstate system or another parkway. So it's seamless right into the next one. Also, the West Kentucky Parkway to I-24, that's in the works to be improved upon. Let's see, I'm missing one. Evidently you didn't get the third one. I sent another one, what would I say? Another presentation that had a recent addition. They just unveiled yesterday. They just unveiled yesterday their plans for the I-24 to the Purchase Parkway. The Calvert City. And there was a big controversy about the spur or not spur, all of that. Well, they've incorporated that spur now, and they've got a new plan that takes in a lot. And I've got some other information we'd be happy to share with you if you'd like to see that. But they maintained the spur and have the high-speed merging into the Purchase Parkway. They took off the loop that is coming west on I-24 that would take you on the Purchase Parkway. There have been a lot of accidents with that one particularly. They're taking that totally out and having a high speed, just a curve right into it. So that'll be much safer now. They've maintained, I think, 2 of the other clover leaves, though. 2 to 3 of the other clover leaves. But anyway, it's interesting to see. But all of that to say, by speaking with one voice, we've been effective. By speaking specifically to points that we all have a common interest in, we make a deeper impression. Difference between a pickaxe and just a hammer, it's going to make a deeper impression. We can get more things done. And that's why your participation on that West Kentucky Regional Chamber Alliance is so important, I think, to the area. The other areas that we have worked on is inland waterways. We're right here by a lot of waterways, and the dams and the river, Ohio River, are very important to our area. And we participated in some bills to try to help the marine industry. So that I know that one bill they were looking at one time was trying to finance a lot of their inland marine costs with lock fees. Well, we've got quite a few lock fees in our area that would perhaps encourage people to avoid our area if they could because of the high fees. And so Krantz and some of the other marine industries said we would rather have a higher fuel tax that would be distributed among all rather than penalizing our lock area with those fees and discouraging people from our area. So we've been involved with that. Olmsted Lock and Dam, we've had meetings there and have written letters and encouraged them to complete that project as well as Kentucky Lock and Dam. And there's just been a recent completion of one of the big pillars that's gone down. I think it was beginning of this month that they were able to complete one of those. I think there's going to be 12, something like that. But anyway, they're moving along on that project, and there for a time I was afraid that it was, in fact I had heard the term mothball thrown around. But it looks like they are making progress, and there for a while they were throwing all the money into Olmsted, and now they're redistributing it, so there's more money now for Kentucky Lock. Riverport improvements, there are of course the Paducah Riverport, and there's another one that's being talked about in Marshall County as well, looking to see how we can develop those that again will help bring some supplies, resources to our area. The nuclear project there at USEC in Paducah has been that affects the region as it draws on people from all over West Kentucky and Tennessee that people work there. We've been deeply involved in passing bills and trying to encourage a transition period now, since that is being shut down and transitioning to something else that would benefit people that are working there. We've been involved with the overlay of the area codes for West Kentucky. There for a while they were talking about we've just about maxed out the area codes, and so we're going to have to start a new area code. And guess if we started a new area code, guess who would have to have the new area code?
The little guys.
The guys on the further west was going to have the new one, so we'd have to change all of our stuff, okay? And so we advocated that, no, a lot of places use an overlay system. Well, it's a pain. You have to dial all the numbers. You have to dial the area code now, but you could keep your number, you could keep your letterhead, all of those things would remain the same, and it wouldn't be as deeply impacting on the businesses otherwise. And so we've got an area code 270N364 now in our area. But again, that's something else that we could speak with one voice and have some influence in that area. The legislature just passed a wireline broadband high-speed wireless beginning of this month. The governor signed into law. So that's another bill that we participated in March 2nd. And another area that we have been working in has been the area of Fort Campbell, that we're talking about downsizing Fort Campbell. Well, again, that's going to impact people in our region. And so we wrote letters. We wrote letters last year. We wrote letters this year. They had a listening night down in Fort Campbell. I'd heard that they'd had a listening night in Fort Knox that was poorly attended. And we wanted to make sure that would not happen here at Fort Campbell. And I timed my trip so I could be there a half an hour ahead of time, that I'd be there in plenty of time. Well, in fact, I think it was an hour ahead of time. And whenever I got off the interstate at Fort Campbell, the traffic was at a standstill there. And I got into the base, but I think they started turning people around about 4 cars ahead of me. And so, but they had our letter.
These people were all turning out for that event, correct?
Yeah. They had a packed house for that. They had an overflow into another building looking at a screen, a monitor to see it. But we had a good representation there from both Tennessee and Kentucky. So we feel real good about that. We haven't heard anything back yet, but we had good representation. I feel good about that. Other things that we've been involved in, public-private partnerships. Again, everything that I hear is Frankfort has no money. Frankfort has, and so the days of getting money from Frankfort for projects are not as good as they used to be. And so this was an effort of trying to work together with some private partnership to help support some projects that we wanted to do. Another was a local option sales tax that would allow the possibility for a local government, for a local area to vote if there was a project they wanted to do and there was no money to do it, could have like a 1% tax for that specific project, and when that was over, the tax was gone. Trying to find ways to provide resources for the projects that would help the areas. I've pretty well been told both of those are dead for this session anyway. But anyway, those are some of the things that we've been involved in to try to help the business community. And I would say if you've got issues in your area that you feel like we could use some help on this matter, then please let Farrell know, and he's your voice with our regional chamber to see what we can do to help support those things, because we want to be a regional chamber helping everybody in the area. We have to have sponsors, investors to help us with it. These are some of the past investors, and I will tell you right now, we're looking for current investors, which is $2,000 a year for 2 years. That would be $2,000 this year, $2,000 next year is what we're looking for. If you know businesses that would be interested in helping to support our efforts in trying to improve the economy in the area, please let us know.
And I was gonna ask you to focus on that just a little bit, because nothing gets anywhere without money.
That's right.
You gotta have money. And as our chamber does not contribute directly to this group, and I was going to ask you how you were funded. So basically, that group is funded by volunteer sponsors.
Right. Right. When the West Kentucky Thank You Night comes, we will get sponsors for that too, that's separately. And anybody who is a corporate sponsor, I'll say, for the 2-year period, of course, they're automatically into that. But you could help sponsor the West Kentucky Thank You Night for a lesser amount. And a lot of people do that. So those are the opportunities we have to fund what we do. Have any other questions? How about that?
Well, you answered one very, very well, the question I had, which was money. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta have money.
You gotta have money to get things done. But we do need corporate sponsors. We will need, later on as we get closer to the event of the West Kentucky Thank You Night, we'll need sponsors for that night as well. So anything that anybody can do, if you know somebody that could afford a contribution like that.
What was the date of the West Kentucky Thank You Night?
They have set a tentative date. Let me see here. I've got that written down. So I knew that would be another question. Tentative date is February the 11th of 2016.
Where is that held?
That's held in Frankfurt. Yeah, close to the legislators. So they can come down and we'll have drinks and entertainment and food, and we'll have, I think, 4 different barbecues served that night. And it's very popular among the legislators. We have it put on their social calendar, and they turn out really well for that. So it is a good opportunity. We'll have, sometimes the governor will be able to speak, and we'll have different ones like that. So it is a big event.
Is the Gilliland branch part of the West Kentucky?
Absolutely, absolutely. We partner with them for that event. And last year, they hosted it. This year, we're hosting it. So it bounces back and forth between us, again, with every budgetary year.
What's it usually cost? I mean, I mean, I know it's kind of hard to project that because you don't know the attendance and all that, but what's it usually cost to do this event?
I'm not prepared for that question. No, I wouldn't even want to try to,
Answer that one.
yeah, try to,
I'd say it's not measured in hundreds.
No.
no. But anyway, that's basically what we're doing. Any other questions?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Very, very informative presentation. Now, pop quiz, okay? Everybody listen closely. How many representatives does each county have that participates in the Chamber Alliance?
Two.
And how many does Lyon County have presently?
2.
The answer is 1. And that's Greta, okay? Now,
I thought you were one.
no,
You have been.
I'm a chamber executive,
Okay.
but I.
Oh, that's right, that's
So
right.
I'm kind of ex officio.
That's
I'm not a
right.
voting. She's a voting person. Now, you've heard a good description of the alliance. We need another representative. You need to be a Lyon County resident, and you have to be, or you need to be in a position of business. Let's put it like that. But you've heard the description of the organization. They meet quarterly, and the next meeting, you said, is in Murray. Correct?
Yes.
And they spread it around. Now, we've not met here recently, not since I've been around, but they have met in Lyon County. I know they have. We've had meetings as far away as Barlow. We've had meetings,
We've had meetings in-
you know, they scatter them around from county to county. And you know, it's just a quarterly meeting obligation, but we need another representative, a Lyon County resident. And if you're interested in doing that, just contact me and we'll go from there. A Lyon County resident with a business affiliation.